Hello everyone, I Kuldeep Sharma welcome you all to today's session of Daily News Analysis, where we are going to look at the most important news from the today's newspaper, just like your Hindu and your Indian Express. So let's start with the news headlines for today. So if you will go through today's Hindu newspaper as well as the Indian Express, both the newspaper have a very amount of overlapping news. So these news are actually there in your Indian Express also. So we can cover it here also. So one is a news with regard to the state of Kerala, where a red alert has been issued because there would be a very heavy rainfall in certain districts of Kerala. On the other hand, the countries or the cities in the north of India, like your capital city of Delhi and many other North Indian cities, are actually recording the highest days or highest temperatures of the seasons, which allows us to go through what do you understand by a red alert and how does Indian Meteorological Department issue these kinds of alerts. Apart from it, we will also revise the heat wave. When is the situation when a heat wave is actually called by the Indian Meteorological Department. So the 4 IMD color alerts which is issued by the Indian Meteorological Department. So Indian Meteorological Department issues alerts to make the people aware. It is very easy to learn. So if you know the colors of the rainbow, so the last 4 colors of the rainbows are actually the color codes from the IMDb. So for green is no action, be happy. Second is your yellow or amber. It is for be informed or be aware. Awareness is required. Then third is your orange alert. Orange alert is basically be prepared. Be prepared. And finally the red alert. Red to sign भी danger का होता है and it is take action. So these are the 4 colored codes being used by the Indian Meteorological Department. On the other hand, from the second news, we have to again revise the heat wave situation. So heat wave is not, many people believe that it is a situation when Loo is going on in North India, that is the heat wave, but that is not the case. Heat waves basically means when there is very high temperature than normal. When the normal temperature is more than when the temperature in a particular city or in a particular meteorological department is higher than normal, it is considered as a heat wave situation. And your IMD issues heat wave alerts. IMD issues heat wave alerts, same in this color coded pattern only, when the temperature departure, heat wave issued when the temperature departure is between 4.5 degrees Celsius to 6.4 degrees Celsius than normal. And it also declares severe heat wave. A severe heat wave is declared when the temperature departure is more than 6.4 degrees Celsius. It's more than 6.4 degrees Celsius, then a severe heat wave is declared. Apart from it, it also requires that the temperature in plain areas should be more than 40 degrees Celsius. In plains area, it should be more than 40 degrees Celsius. Plus, there should be a temperature departure of between 4.5 to 6.4 degrees Celsius. Then a heat wave is issued. And second is a severe heat wave is issued if the departure from normal temperature, let's say if the normal temperature is 30 degrees Celsius, then if the temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, it would be considered as severe heat wave. And there are other technical definition and technical conditions attached to it. These are not relevant for us. However, you should just know this fact that 4.5 to 6.4 degree is your normal heat wave, and severe heat wave is more than 6.4 degrees Celsius. And these are the 4 color coded alerts being issued by the Institute of Meteorological Department. Let's move on to the next one. So now we have come to the editorial. So editorial on POCSO and a specific scheme under the POCSO Act is being talked about. The scheme which is being talked about here is your Mission Vatsalya, which is basically a rehabilitation scheme for children of sexual abuse. Children of sexual abuse, basically children who have suffered sexual abuse. It's a rehab scheme. Basically, somehow they get some they can come out of that psychological trauma. They can again have a normal life. Specifically, if you come up from a poor family, or you come from an orphanage, you are an orphanage. In that case, these kind of scheme, Vishen Masale like scheme, are being utilized under the POCSO Act to rehab that person again. So certain facts. Okay, so you can also read this particular article also, and this particular article is a criticism. It's a criticism of the scheme. Is a criticism of the scheme, that what are the flaws in this particular scheme. But this also gives us an opportunity to study some facts about the POCSO Act. So as you may know, the POCSO Act came up in the year 2012. So a direct question can be when it was enacted. These kind of questions are also asked in your exam. Second is, the POCSO Act is the first act which actually provides for age of consent, and it is 18 now. It is 18. Age of consent to enter into sexual relationship is 18, and it is the same for boys and girls. It is same for boys and girls. Second, it's a gender neutral, which means a boy as well as a girl, obviously, and boys also can be victims of sexual abuse. Both can be victims of sexual abuse. So it basically defines a child to be a male or a female, and both can be victims of sexual abuse, and both of them are protected under the POCSO Act of 2012. Third, it actually defines what is sexual exploitation. So it differentiates between penetrative and non-penetrative sexual harassment, sexual abuse. Both of them are actually punishable. Apart from punishing sexual exploitation, it also punishes child pornography. So either if you are involved in creation or you are in possession of child pornography, even that is punishable. You did not created it, you did not buy it, but somehow if it's in your possession also, then also it is punishable. Next is child trafficking. So if you are a person who is involved in child trafficking, under POCSO Act also you can get punishment. And fourth, it provides for rehabilitation facilities. For example, provisions for schemes like Mission Vatsalya are being provided under POCSO. Next is special courts. So as you may know that that one of the problem which we face in our regular court system is the problem of delay. It's a problem of delay. However, in the case of POCSO, special courts are created and the procedures are very simple. There is simple procedure. For example, there would be child-friendly procedures. So procedures which would be helpful for the child would be used in this case. So easy court procedures are used. For example, evidences from child can be taken at his residence, at his or her residence also. You do not need to bring that child to the court also. Second is no disclosure of identity. So not in your court documents, not in any media or newspaper report, the identity of the minor is to be disclosed. If by some chance, intentionally or unintentionally, if someone discloses the identity of the child who is a victim under the POCSO Act, then that person is punished. Third is the trial period. So as per POCSO Act, the trial is to be finished within 1 year, as soon as possible. So it is not like these are strict limit. However, it wants that the trial should be completed within 1 year. Next is very important point. One of the important point is that there is a compulsion to report of offense. So if you are a person and who feels that there might be a situation here, there might be a case where the POCSO might be involved, that some person is involved in pornography, child pornography, someone is involved in sexual exploitation of children, then it is your duty to compulsory report such kind of offenses to the concerned authorities. You have to report it. Next, because it has severe cases, cases of punishment. If a person is involved in violation of POCSO Act, there can be a serious level of punishment to that person. So that's why false complaint, if someone has done any false complaint, there are provisions for punishing that person also. And finally, the rule making power. So they have created this POCSO Act. However, there might be requirement of creation of rules also from time to time. So rule making power is actually being given to the central government. So it is the central government which has the rule making power in this particular case. So these are some of the facts which relate to the POCSO Act, because this article has come up in our today's newspaper. Moving on to the next. So in the text and context section, there is this particular article where it is talking about that the European Union is taking action against platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So let's study about the Digital Services Act of this particular country, and also we'll study in very short what is India's law regarding digital protection. So first is European Union. I hope it's a grouping. It's a grouping in Europe, and it consists of 27 countries. Earlier there were 28 countries, 28th was your England or Britain, and now it is no more part of it. Britain or England was the 28th country, but it is no longer a member of European Union. So it's a 27 group country. Now let's study about the particular act under which action has been taken against Facebook and Instagram, and also try to understand why action has been taken against these two companies. So Digital Services Act 2022, it is considered as the strongest, stringent Digital Protection Act, Digital Data Protection Act in the world. And what does it regulates? So it regulates all your online intermediaries as well as platform. So it directly regulates your Facebook and Instagrams also. Second, what is the main objective of this particular act? So it is to first is to curb illegal content. So whatever would be declared illegal by the authorities of European Union is to be curbed at that particular on those platforms, and it is the duty of these intermediaries and platforms to basically curb such kind of illegal content. For example, as simple as pornography, child pornography, which is a banned activity, is to be removed. It is the duty of Facebook and Instagram to remove such kind of content. Let's say any information, any material which is promoting terrorism, which can lead to hiring of terrorists into ISIS or your Al-Qaeda. All such kind of activities is to be removed. All such kind of content is to be removed from the platform by those persons only. Very important part is your protecting of minors, and it is this particular clause where Facebook and Instagram has failed in European Union, and that's why their action has been taken against Facebook and Instagram here. So with regard to protecting minors, what are the specific contents? So first is you have to protect minors from commercial use. What do we mean by commercial use? So basically you cannot use data of those people, data of children's. You cannot use data of children and use it for commercial purposes. For example, let's say Facebook takes up your data and sells your data to a third company. For example, a company who is creating as simple as a breakfast cereal. So it cannot send your data or use your data and sell it to a third party, by which that third party can target you with ads. Second is profiling. So what is profiling? So if I have your data, I can actually create a profile of you. For example, I can know your interest and disinterest. I can also know your ideology also. So all of this comes under profiling. Profiling basically means you are creating a profile of a person, so that you can identify the flaws in a person's personality or where that person is going to go. And third is personal data. All of the personal data is to be anonymized. What do you understand by anonymized? So let's say I give you certain details that a particular person, your child is of the age 13 years, he is a male, and he has a height of 5 foot 2 inches, and his weight is 60 kgs. So if you have this data, I should not be able to identify this with a person, a particular child. Let's say I should not identify that it belongs to X, it belongs to Y, it belongs to Z. So all of the personal data, whatever data you are collecting, it is to be anonymized. So I should not be able to find out with whom this data is related to. I should not be able to identify whether it is X, Y or Z. So the data is to be anonymized. Next important point is full disclosure. So full disclosure requirement is not just for minors but overall. And what you have to disclose? Who is giving this particular advertisement? So if a particular advertisement is being shown on Instagram, then you should know who is giving this advertisement, who is the authority which is providing it. For example, there is a case of surrogate advertisement. So what would be a surrogate advertisement? So an example would be, let's say BJP wants to advertise its particular policy, then rather than the BJP handle using its Instagram handle to upload this particular advertisement, it can hire a third party channel like a Instagram influencer. So they are going to pay that Instagram influencer to show that particular policy on their handle. So it would be an example of surrogate advertisement also. So all this kind of activity would be either you do it, you don't do it, and if you do it, you have to mention that who is giving this advertisement. Second case also, who is paid. So these are interchangeably, these can be used. So let's say agar if the final payment is being made by the BJP, this should be visible somewhere. Who is paying for that advertisement should also be visible there also. And finally, no ads based on sexual orientation, political beliefs. So even if you have profiled a person, even if you are aware that that person is going to get attracted to a particular ideology, still you cannot show any kind of ads in European Union based on sexual orientation of a person and on political beliefs. And finally, there are stricter regulations for platforms which have more than 10% reach. So if you are catering to 10% of the population, 10% plus population of European Union, then these regulations are much stricter. So these regulations become stricter for you if you are covering or you are providing services to at least 10% of the people of European Union. And finally, in case of India, we have created this particular act. So this act was passed in the year 2023 itself, Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. However, it is yet to be notified. Not notified yet. Probably after we are done with the election for this year, after we are done with the Lok Sabha election, this would be implemented this year, and this would be the particular act which would have similar kinds of protections for our personal data, as the name also suggests. So right now it is the IT rules. Right now it is the IT rules 2021. So right now IT rules 2021 is the main law to regulate our personal data. So it is the main law which regulates our personal data, your IT rules 2021. As of now, we have passed this particular act also, Digital Personal Data Protection Act. However, it is yet to be notified. Once it is notified, you can actually expect a question from here also in your legal reasoning or even in your GK also. Moving on. So some good news in this heat wave season. So monsoon is set in over Nicobar to reach Kerala by May 31st, says IMDb. So at least 3-4 news are there in today's newspaper which are related to your IMDb. So why is monsoon important? So most important is agriculture dependence, which is as high as 52% of your agriculture. 52% of your agriculture is actually rain-fed. Rain-fed agriculture, basically, if you will have good rains, then your crop yield is going to increase. Second reason why monsoon is important is that it helps to replenish reservoirs. So as you may know that there are many reservoirs, water reservoirs which do not have sufficient amount of water in them, and because if the rainfall or if the monsoon is not going to be good enough, then probably we are going to have a severe water stress situation in the coming months. And third is obviously your power generation, because if the reservoirs do not have water, then it won't be possible for us to run any kind of hydroelectric power generation plant. Now let's understand certain facts about southwest monsoon. So one thing you should know is why it is known as southwest. So it is known as southwest because it enters India from the southwest. So that's why the name southwest monsoon. So from the equator, the trade winds are moving in this direction. However, just as soon they moved, just soon as they pass the equator, they take a turn towards the southwest, and they enter from here. And the first state in India to which they are attracted or they fall is Kerala. However, Kerala is not the first land area in India which received the monsoon rainfall, and it is actually your Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So if I talk about if there are 4 options and Andaman and Nicobar Island is one of the options, and the question is regarding which is the land area over which the monsoon arrives first, the answer would be Andaman and Nicobar Island. And if the Andaman and Nicobar Island is not mentioned, then it would be Kerala. You can see in this headline also, monsoon sets in over Nicobar to reach Kerala by May 31st. Okay, so this is the reason. Second is, what is the IMD मॉडल या इंडियन मेट्रोलॉजिकल डिपार्टमेंट का मॉडल कौन सा है जिसके बेसिस पे हम मॉनसून फोरकास्टिंग करते हैं? सो इट इज नोन एज डायनामिक forecast model. Dynamic forecast model, which is jointly developed by India and USA. So the model which we use to predict the monsoon is known as the dynamic forecast model, and it is a joint project of India and USA. Third is, what is a normal monsoon? So IMD has predicted that this year we are going to have a normal monsoon. Let us understand what is normal monsoon. So if I say in a particular year the monsoon will be normal, I'm expecting that it is going to be 100% of your long period average. अगर मैं कई सालों तक मेरी रेनफॉल को मेजर करूं और एक एवरेज पे आ जाऊं, सो ऑब्वियसली दैट वुड बी 100%. सो नॉर्मल मॉनसून एज पर IMD इज इफ द वेरिएशन इज बिटवीन 96% and 104% of your long period average. If my exact long period average is 100%, then if the variation is 4% towards the lesser side or 4% on the greater side, then it is considered as normal monsoon. And the long period average in terms of absolute number is actually 87 centimeter. So if I am receiving 87 centimeter of rainfall in a particular year, I am considering that I am having a normal monsoon, provided there can be a variation between 96% and 104%. Move on करते हैं. So next is your Israel strike on Gaza refugee camp kills 31, wounds 21. So again we are doing a war update because we have been covering it for the last one and a half month. So again, if you would require a full update, then we might have a separate class over it also. So what is the war update? So basically Israel has stuck on the Gaza refugee camp, which is basically in your North Gaza. So if I draw the map of Israel, here is your West Bank and here is your Gaza Strip. And the three main cities in the north, you have the Gaza city. In center, you have the Khan Yunis city. And in the south, you have the Rafah city. And currently, this attack has taken place in the north of Gaza, basically in the central Gaza city, center of the Gaza city, however, in the North Gaza. Okay, so 31 people have died. So if you remember, this war or the attack by Hamas on Israel took place on October 7, 2023. On October 9, 2023, it was the Israeli forces which retaliated. Why? Because on October 7, apart from killing thousands of persons, it took over 250 hostages also. बंदी बना लिया 250 लोगों को. And as of now, the current update is Hamas is also right now in possession of around 125 refugees, not refugees but hostages. So 125 hostages are still with the terrorist organization of Hamas. So this is the current update. Apart from it, two important points. So Jabalia refugee camp, Jabalia refugee camp, we have done it earlier also, is the largest. It is the largest refugee camp. It is the largest refugee camp of Gaza. And Kutupalong refugee camp is the largest camp of the world, largest refugee camp of the world. And the task for you is to find out where this Kutupalong refugee camp is located. It is in one of India's neighbor. So I've already told you that Kutupalong refugee camp is the largest refugee camp of the world, and you have to tell me where is it located, in which country is it located. So let's move on. Choppers crash in Iran. President Raisi is missing. Search operation on. So the latest update, because this is a newspaper and it's usually published overnight. However, the recent update is that the current Iranian president has died. Who died recently, and his name was Ibrahim Raisi. Ibrahim Raisi was the Iranian president who has recently died in a helicopter crash. So he was traveling from Azerbaijan to your Iran. And if you see the map here, you can see that both of these countries actually share a border. So he was moving from Azerbaijan to Iran. The capital of Azerbaijan is Baku. And its president is Ilham Aliyev. That is the name of the president of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. In terms of Iran, the president has recently died. However, there is another important person known as the supreme leader. So there is a religious leader known as the supreme leader, and currently the supreme leader is Ayatollah. Ayatollah basically means your supreme leader, and the name is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Please remember this name. This name is very important because he is not the first supreme leader. The first supreme leader of Iran was Ayatollah Khomeini. So don't get confused. The current Iranian supreme leader is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and not Khomeini. Khomeini was the first supreme leader, and he became a supreme leader in the year 1979 to be exact, and he was there till 1989. So he was there for 10 years, and after 1989, it is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei who is the current supreme leader of Iran. So you should know these two details. I hope you know the capital of Iran. What is the capital of Iran? It is Tehran. Okay, so these are some of the facts which may be asked here, which becomes important because of this particular crash. Next we move करते हैं serial saviors. So from the Indian Express, Punjab and Haryana and India's food security. So I hope you know that that the Indian government is very concerned about your food security needs, and to have a certain buffer stock. To have a certain buffer stock that in case of need, let's say because of there is a severe drought and because of this there is a crop shortage, so there must be certain cereals or certain wheat and rice in the buffer stock in case of emergency also. So our Indian government maintains a buffer stock, and this buffer stock is also utilized for your PDS system, your public distribution system, as well as many other schemes like midday meal scheme. So all of this buffer stock is utilized. So this particular article is regarding Punjab and Haryana, and how come our Indian food security is dependent on Punjab and Haryana only. So as you may know, the 75% of the total wheat procurement, so this data is actually from this particular article also, and some other data has also been added. So 75% of the total wheat procurement is from the state of Punjab and Haryana. So both of these states combined have provided for 75% of the total wheat procurement since 2015-16. It has been the highest. What is the minimum buffer norm of the government of India? कितना आपके पास wheat और rice होना चाहिए? So it is 7.4 million metric ton. ठीक है, this data point is important. What is the minimum buffer norm of government of India? It is 7.4 million metric ton, also known as MMT. 7.4 MMT. Second, next 2 points. Which is the state which has the highest wheat procurement? Although 75% of the total wheat procurement is from Punjab and Haryana, it might be possible that a third state is responsible for the rest of the 25%. However, highest wheat procurement in terms of state is from the state of Punjab. And second point, highest rice procurement is again from the state of Punjab only. So you can see this also, 75% of total wheat is from Punjab and Haryana. But when I talk about single states, it would be the state of Punjab which has the highest procurement for rice as well as wheat. Rice ke liye bhi highest procurement is from the state of Punjab. For wheat also it is from the state of Punjab. Next is your National Food Security Act. So it is this particular act under which free food grain is provided. And how much is provided? So 5 kg of either rice or wheat, whichever you want. 5 kg of rice or wheat per month. 5 kg of rice or wheat per month is provided to your BPL families, below poverty line families. So one question which you can answer in the comment box is, on the basis of which committee's recommendation we calculate the BPL families? कौन सी कमिटी के रिकमेंडेशन के बेसिस पे we determine the BPL families? That is a question for you all. You can mention it in the comment box. So these are some of the important data which we can derive from this particular article also. So let's move on. So there are 2 articles from the sports section also, because certain interesting things have happened. So someone has become an undisputed world heavyweight champion in boxing, and because it has happened for the first time in last 24 years. His name is Alexander Usyk, who belongs to Ukraine. So the fact that he belongs to a country which is war-torn and is being supported by the Western country, that's why this name also becomes important. Alexander Usyk has become the undisputed world heavyweight champion boxing. What do you understand by undisputed? Why we are calling it undisputed? Because there is no dispute about the fact. And why there is no dispute? Because there are 4 major boxing organizations. 4 major boxing organizations. And he currently holds the heavyweight championship belts. He currently holds the heavyweight championship belts of all the 4 organizations. So he's not just one single belt. If you will look at this photograph, there is 1, there is 2, there is 3, and there is 4. So there are 4 belts. You can see in the photograph also. So he has won all the 4 belts simultaneously right now. That's why he's the undisputed world heavyweight championship right now. Okay. Let's move to the next news. So one of our Indian badminton heroes have again won another open, and that is the Thailand Open. So you should remember these names because this year sports is also very important. The reason being Paris Olympics. So because Paris Olympics are going to take place this year, 2024, very soon they are going to start. So that's why sports section is also important. And these 2 persons, Satvik Sai Reddy and your Chirag Shetty have won the Thailand Open men's double title. Not the singles, but men's double titles has been won by these 2 people. So that's why I covered these 2 sports section news. So all of these are the important news headlines from today's both newspapers, your Hindu as well as the Indian Express. That's it for today. I hope to see you in tomorrow's class where we are going to look at the news headlines from tomorrow. So thank you and have a very nice day from my side.